Hey people of the world, it's me, Maximus Griffin Anthony, once again. In this video, I want to do my first discussion about the first story I ever wrote is a Seven Deadly Sins anime fan fiction entitled One Late Night with the Seven Deadly Sins, and it features two couples. It features the couples of King and Deanne and Bon and Jericho. Now, let me say from the start that I wanted to do this fan fiction from the beginning. I always loved Seven Deadly Sins. I have a lot of nostalgia for that anime in particular because it's the first one I ever watched back in 2015. Yeah, it was 2015 that I started anime. I started it for my girlfriend at the time who liked anime, and it just took off from there. I started with Seven Deadly Sins. I didn't finish it the first time I watched it. I went about 3/4 of the way in the first season, and then I don't remember what happened. I got distracted and watched Sword Art Online instead. I don't remember why. I don't know. Shit happens, I guess. So, anyway, I decided to finish up Seven Deadly Sins when I made my return to watching anime in late 2016. Because you see, after I broke up with said girlfriend, I didn't feel like watching anime anymore because I thought, okay, if she's not going to be my girlfriend anymore, then what's the point of me watching anime anymore? And I didn't want to watch it anymore. It didn't feel the same. But, I mean, I was really into anime the first run, like, a little too much, to the point where I decided to limit myself in the second run by only watching one episode of an anime a day, because I used to watch a shit ton of episodes every single day. So, I decided not to do that this time in the second run. So anyway, when I started the second run this past November, I also decided that I wanted to officially start my fanfiction career, or my writing career in general, which happened to start with fanfiction. At the time, I didn't know that my stories were going to get so popular, so I, at the time, was just doing fanfictions. I wasn't planning to make any other stories of, like, my own creations. So, anyway, One Late Night with the Seven Deadly Sins is really what started things for me. It was the first fanfiction I ever wrote on Wattpad.com. Originally, I wanted to start doing fanfictions on fanfiction.net, because that's where I read most of my fanfictions. I read all my fanfictions on there, actually. But there was a complicated process with joining fanfiction.net. Like, you had to wait an extended amount of time. You had to go through with their formats. They even made me download shit I didn't want to download to my computer, and I just didn't want to do that, so I decided to look for other popular fanfiction sites. I think Wattpad was the second most popular one, so I signed up on an account on Wattpad. At the time, I went by a different name, and it's kind of embarrassing, but my name at the time was Savage Gangsta 1, because at the time I was going through this weird phase or whatever. I'm out of that phase now, obviously. But anyway, so over time I changed my name to Maximus Anthony on Wattpad, and so it really took off from there. One Late Night with the Seven Deadly Sins, let me explain the story. So it takes place one late night, obviously as the title implies, at the Bear... Why did I say... Oh, whatever. I got my names mixed up. At the Boar Hat. I almost said Barrel Haven. For some reason, my mind immediately went to the Bone graphic novels for some stupid reason. Sorry. Not very professional of me, I know. So, I went to Wattpad, I got the story started, like I said, and anyway, going back to the beginning of the story, it takes place one late night at the Boar Hat, and Jericho cannot sleep. She has, this nightmare about when Bon was carrying her naked in one of the Seven Deadly Sins episodes. Personally, I thought that it was going to take off from there. I thought Bon and Jericho were going to get shipped. And then they didn't. They didn't get shipped. They brought Elaine back, I think, if my memory serves me right. No, wait, no, they didn't bring Elaine back. They teased bringing Elaine back. But personally, I've never been a fan of Elaine. She's generic, so I didn't want to do Bon and Elaine. So I wanted to do Bon and Jericho, because I thought Jericho suited better with Bon. And personally, they're just a really cute couple, so I had to write them. So Jericho has, an embarrassing dream about, her waking up in Bon's arms and being, crimson in the face. And so then she wakes up, and she feels that her face is actually hot in real life, her face is burning from embarrassment. So then she goes to the bathroom because in my version of the story, I hadn't actually finished Seven Deadly Sins when I wrote this, so I didn't know how the series ended. Is the thing. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just assumed everyone was going to get together at the end, which did not end up happening. So I was like, okay, Arthur is in the barrel. Why do I keep saying the Barrel Haven? God, the Boar Hat. Sorry. So in my version of the story, like Arthur was there, and Gila was there, and Jericho is there. Basically, pretty much all the outsiders were there. I think I even included Gilthunder, if my memory serves me right. It has been quite a while since I wrote this one, so and I should have reread it before I did this video. I promise I will next time. But anyway, so yeah. And so she goes to the bathroom, which is now Bond's room, because the Boar Hat is so cluttered with people that there is no separate bedrooms. People have to share, or they get moved to weird rooms. In Bond's case, he wanted the bathroom. I thought that would be funny. I don't know. Some people like it that way. Some people think it's stupid. I don't know. But anyway, so Bond goes to the Jericho goes to the bathroom. Sorry, I'm really nervous. I haven't done a YouTube video this long in a while. So Jericho goes to the bathroom. She sees Bond sleeping, but Bond's actually just pretending to sleep, just honestly, because he knows it's Jericho and he wants to scare her. So when Jericho goes to the bathroom, does her business, and is about to leave, she gets scared the crap out of by Bond, who pulls like a scaring prank on her, and it's really funny. Jericho leaves in embarrassment for getting scared, and it was really funny. And also at the same time, what's going on outside is that Deanne decided to talk to King, because something I forgot to mention, Jericho did not go right to the bathroom. She actually went outside first. She was going to go outside so she wouldn't have to go in the bathroom with Bond. But it was freezing cold. Like, even in real life, it was freezing cold when I was writing this. It was November. Wait, was it November or was it October? I wrote it in November, but I said it took place in October. But anyway, so it was cold in real life, so I wanted to make it cold in the story. And so I had Deanne or whatever. I had her like get embarrassed by Jericho. Jericho was getting embarrassed by Deanne because Deanne was pointing out why she was avoiding the bathroom, and so that made her embarrassed. So Jericho counters that by saying that she's embarrassed about King, that she has an obvious crush on King, or vice versa. Yeah, it was vice versa, that King had an obvious crush on Deanne, and that Deanne didn't seem to see it. That made Deanne kind of, well, blush. Big blush, because she's giantess. So then it cuts to the Jericho going into the bathroom part that I talked about earlier, and then it goes back outside to Deanne opening King's window and talking to him through the window, and King getting really embarrassed because he was dreaming about Deanne before that. I had a little him talking in his sleep deal because I thought it would be funny and realistic. Honestly, I see King talking in his sleep. That's how I picture how he sleeps. He talks. That's how I picture him. So then I had King start to feel bad for Deanne because Deanne has to sit out in the cold with no blanket or pillow that's big enough for her. I wrote in the story that a little while ago that he had given Deanne his pillow or whatever, and so in the story he gives the pillow to Deanne, right, and he makes it bigger for her as like a present. So that's what he does. That's something I can imagine King doing. So then next thing I know, I decide to write King not having a place to sleep. So I decide for King not to have a place to sleep, so there'd be an excuse for King and Deanne to have to sleep together. Like, not sex, because I don't write sex. I don't do that. I myself am personally a virgin, not scared to admit it, because I'm only 15, and so I can't write what I don't know, you know? So I don't do that far, I don't go that far, so I write tease. I write tease, that's what I do. So I had King having to tell Deanne he doesn't have a place to sleep, and then I had Deanne call him by his real name, Harlequin, and I had this emotional moment where King goes off in the forest and cries because the mention of his real name brings back his memories of Helbram, who he had to kill 3 times during the course of the anime. So I thought that would make a really good emotional moment, and it did. So anyway, then in the story, Deanne follows and catches up with King, and she apologizes to King, and she's all like, "I love you, King," and like she kisses him. He gets embarrassed. She brings him back to the pillow and says, "You're gonna sleep with me from now on." Whole deal like that, and that's how it goes for them. They sleep in each other's embrace, and King is happy. I thought that was a great way to end King and Deanne's portion of the story. So then it cuts back to Bon and Jericho, and it cuts to Jericho, who was not able to sleep the entire night. She didn't want to go back to sleep after an embarrassing dream and embarrassing encounters with Deanne and Bon during the night. So she doesn't go back to sleep. She thinks that she's strong enough not to need a full night's sleep. So she goes to the bathroom once again, and Bon is pretending to sleep once again because he wants to scare Jericho twice. I can imagine Bon doing that. So then he goes to scare her, and then I have Jericho fighting off sleep so that Bon would have a reason to feel bad for her. So then I had Bon grab Jericho from behind, pull her to where he was sleeping, and then have the two fall asleep in each other's embrace, because neither of them slept the previous night. So it would only make sense for them to need more. So that's how I did it. And that's the story, pretty much. A lot of people have been asking me to write a second chapter to this story for some reason. Personally, I think it's perfect the way it is. I want to leave people asking for more, because if they ask for more, then more people are going to read what's already there. Because if I give people the second chapter that they want, they'll get interested for a little bit, and then it's going to die. No one's going to care. But if I leave people interested, then they'll care a lot longer about me wanting to write another chapter. But at the moment, I don't see any reason to. Personally, since I write teas, I don't see the point in writing a fanfiction about the couples already being together. I don't see the point. So, I don't know, that's just me. So, yeah, I got inspired to do this because I was watching Seven Deadly Sins at the time. I was making my return to watching anime after a number of months of not watching it, because I stopped watching anime in like March or April of 2016. The last anime I watched then was Soul Eater, and then I stopped watching after I broke up with my girlfriend, and then I decided to come back to it in November, which is when I wrote this story. So I wasn't done with Seven Deadly Sins yet. As I told you the first time I watched it, I didn't finish it, and I wrote this before I had finished it again. Then I finished it like a couple days later, and I was like, oh, okay, I got some things wrong, but nah, no one seems to care. They seem to forgive me for not having watched the entire show yet, so anyway, that is the summary of my book. If you want to read it, I really do recommend you do. Please don't just listen to me. I probably make these stories sound boring, so please actually go read the book. I would love to get more reads on the book. The book has plenty of reads already, but it never hurts to have more, and I'd love to see my fan base increase so that I feel as though I'm providing my books for a larger audience. Because at the moment, I'm just writing these for myself, but I feel like I'd be more motivated to write more often if I had a fan base that was bigger than it is now. So please do follow me on Wattpad.com. I'll leave a link in the description down below. And if you don't want to go there, then you can always click on my channel banner. There's a link in front of it that says My Stories from Wattpad, and you can click on that, go to Wattpad.com, read this story and all my others. I promise I'll be talking about all the other stories I've written over time. I'm probably going to do one of these every day or every other day. Not sure. I'm still figuring out my YouTube schedule. I am really busy, so I don't know when I'm going to be making videos, or how often, or how many a day. If I do videos every day, I don't think I will. I made the mistake of doing that the last time I was on YouTube, and it caught up with me, so, and I didn't want to do it anymore at that point, so. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video here, guys. Please do read the book, and have a nice day.